What is your most unpopular music opinion? You don't have to know the band members' names and history to be a fan. Music is about the sound and how it makes you feel. It feels like a trivia cult. If you don't know facts about the band, some fans get defensive about how much of a fan you are. They make music, not reality TV. Sometimes producers should have more credit than artists. This IDK about other songs, but in rap nowadays producers make so much impact on the song it basically becomes a different song with different producers. Sort by controversial to see the actually unpopular opinions. This thread is mostly a circle jerk. This is our unpopular opinion, just condensed into a single thread and on a single topic. Instrumentals are heavily underrated. Beyoncé is overrated. Eminem is very talented and I can appreciate that. However, to me he just sounds like a pissed off chihuahua. He's an extremely talented lyricist and vocalist, but the problem is his sound and style are very much a product of his time in a way that aged poorly, while his content has never really evolved past him constantly trying to prove that he's the best rapper alive, even though we all got the point like 15 years ago. That said, hearing and seeing M live for the first time back in '99 when SSLP first dropped was something else, and there will probably never be another rapper with that out of this world level of impact ever again. That I never grew out of my edgy phase because I still enjoy punk and alt-rock edit. Wow, so many of us. I grew up in the 2000s, so my go-tos are Green Day, Rise Against, The Offspring, Fall Out Boy, Sum 41, Sick Puppies, Paramore, 1000 Foot Crutch, Tonight Alive, Avenged 7X, Red, and Evanescence. There's more, but that's a good list. I also have expanded my tastes, but I will always love punk rock. I've never really grown out of music. I just seem to add on more stuff I like over time while still liking the stuff I did as a kid. Most mainstream musicians focus more on their theatrics and personas instead of music, so a lot of it sounds the same and it's bland. Because for the most part they don't write their music. In fact, most artists from the US share the same 2 to 3 songwriters, lyricists, so no wonder why they all sound the same. It's made to be predictably safe and marketable and generic. Because a song that dares to try something new is a risky move that may not give profit, so generic soulless song that takes no risk with guaranteed success it is. So many songs are just so whiny. And if they are not whiny, they are constantly howling though auto-tune. I'm broken and it's beautiful, 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 thanks, I got it the first 40 times. So many of today's singers sound terrible live. I'd actually go further. The majority of music artists now do not have good vocals, vocal range or singing ability. That isn't to say they don't make good music, but the age of needing a good voice to be popular is long gone. I don't like Beyoncé. It may seem popular, but people seem to get really upset about it. I don't understand what's so special about her music. Every time somebody says that rock is dead I laugh really hard because I've heard it before, in 1978 from Disco Kids. Every time a new genre is invented, they shout from MTHE rooftops that rock is dead. It's satirical. I love Irish music and Celtic rock. It's not a popular genre, but I enjoy it so much. Disco is good, actually. If you look at all, there's a lot of really great music being made today. People who draw some arbitrary line after which they insist there is no good music don't know enough about music to articulate why they like what they like, or aren't looking very hard. I get a giggle from out-of-the-loop classical listeners who cry out, they just don't make music like this anymore, when in fact, there's thousands of composers creating interesting and enjoyable modern classical music today. Songs About Jane is Maroon 5's only good album. Some genres require less skills than others. What do you have in mind? I feel like people say that then shit on hip-hop 99% of the time right after lol. Huey Lewis and the News. Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste. But when Sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole album has a clear, crisp sound, and a new sheen of consummate professionalism that really gives the songs a big boost. He's been compared to Elvis Costello, but I think Huey has a far more bitter, cynical sense of humor. In '87, Huey released this, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square. A song so catchy, most people probably don't listen to the lyrics. But they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends. It's also a personal statement about the band itself. Is that a raincoat? Elton John doesn't get anywhere near the credit he deserves as an all-time great. He should be discussed as a top 5 solo career all-time, with only Elvis and MJ really being clear-cut above him. But no one ever even brings him up in those discussions. I've never seen anyone able to write a coherent and borderline hit-level song as quickly as Elton. Give him a sheet of words, they don't even have to be lyrics, and you'll have a hit in 5 minutes. If you don't believe me, search Elton John Oven Manual song on YouTube. I don't know what you're on about. Over in the UK he is seen as one of the greatest artists, up there with the Beatles and Bowie. He definitely not underrated. He's overrated in my unpopular opinion. Rap is barely music and is lazily put together compared to other genres that require actual musical ability. Awful opinion. People that say rappers don't have talent because they don't play instruments are like construction workers who say computer programmers don't build anything because they don't use hammers and nails. Expand your worldview just a little. You'll be amazed what you find. Music today is better than it's ever been. Musicians who push political messages can choke on a nutsack. I agree, but on a lighter tone. It's so weird seeing songs criticize capitalism and such, but they're under a multi-million record label that exploits the shit out of people. Edit. I saw the flaws in what I've said and I'll be more open-minded next time. George Harrison was the best Beatle and had the best career after they broke up music-wise. It's hard to categorize, as all 4 Beatles did very different things. But in terms of a singular work, All Things Must Pass is the pinnacle of solo Beatles work for sure. People who only listen to one genre of music are suspect to me. I'm so fucking tired of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They play on every radio station from classic rock to contemporary to weird alternative stations. I can't escape them, and all of their songs sound the same, and I've heard every one 1,000 times, I'm just sick of them. Their songs absolutely do not all sound the same. But also you are obviously entitled to your opinion, especially in this thread of all places. All your music sucks. Honestly, yes. My Spotify album is called My Embarrassing Hipster Trash. As a hairy metalhead, I'm also a total sucker for really catchy pop. Whilst not unpopular as such in general amongst my friends, it definitely is. I have a playlist on Spotify full of Nelly Furtado, Lady Gaga, the Veronicas, etc., with recent additions of stuff like Ella Henderson and Ava Max. Bohemian Rhapsody is awful and Freddie Mercury's singing voice is grating. I like the honesty. Too bad you're wrong on every level though. A lot of people who ignorantly and unfairly judge rap, hip-hop have a racist motive behind it. It's hard to enjoy a genre where 90% of the music is about murder, drug abuse, having tons of baby mamas and gangs. Yes, other genres do it too, but not to the extent of rap and hip-hop. I understand that it's something a lot of people grow up in the US, but it's an objectively bad lifestyle many people don't want projected on them, hence people not liking the music right off the bat. I'm black and I say that because if a white person was saying it you'd probably assume racism. U2 is boring. I'm Irish, born and raised, and I wholeheartedly agree. Crazy thing is, my entire life here in Ireland I have not met one person that likes U2. They're fucking awful. I don't care for Hamilton. At all. Lewis Hamilton has won the race. Yeah mate, I get you. Remember the band Blondie from the late 70s and early 80s? Their first 5 albums were absolute gold, every song perfection like hit singles. All of them. Not a stinker or filler in the bunch. They really knew what they were doing. Is that unpopular? Blondie are awesome. Anime music is the best. Rap and hip-hop are 99% unlistenable dreck. I always find it weird that people are allowed to not like the way that metal or prog sounds, but say this about rap and everyone comes out of the woodwork to yell at you. If you listen to people like Cardi B, then yeah it is, there are good rap artists out there. Mariah Carey is in fact a musical genius. I'm pretty sure Reddit is going to take a giant shit on this and only mention her singular Christmas song. But what I mean is that for a singer with that kind of voice to have written, co-arranged, and co-produced 95% of her own material is pretty incredible, especially when you take into consideration the way her vocals are layered, her knack for engineering her own vocal climaxes and the way she weaves in different flourishes in each register. It's like she's paints a canvas with her voice. I simply don't hear as many artists fill an entire song with a range of vocalizations the way she does, despite the trashy diva image which I suppose turns most people off. Also, Tori Amos should be up there with Prince and Michael Jackson and Madonna and whoever else, but she's not because she's an indie chick behind the piano. Bohemian Rhapsody sucks. Just a random cacophony of verses and different styles. But there is a story to. I don't care. Some gospel songs are actually, objectively speaking, amazing music even if you don't want anything to do with the lyrics. Mumble rap, trap has its place in hip-hop. Not all hip-hop has to be lyrical miracle. To extend on your second point, I think it's totally legit for rappers to say nonsensical shit just because it falls nicely on the ear. Obviously a narrative or throughline is more impressive and palatable, but sometimes you just want a spiritual lyrical miracle to nod your head to. I like Bob Dylan's voice. If you're basing what you listen to off of how popular the artist is, you crazy. It doesn't sound any better or worse if they're small or popular. Listening to a full album is always a tiresome and unnecessary endeavor. Just pick out 1 to 2 songs you like and only listen to those. I don't give a damn about the intended experience. Reading a full book is always tiresome and unnecessary endeavor. Just pick out 1 to 2 chapters you like and only read those. EDM isn't just for raves. The optimal gym music. Bohemian Rhapsody is not a good song. A sphincter says what? Bagpipes and accordions are good instruments for rock music. Adam and the Ants were awesome. People who say, I like all genres of music, are full of shit. I always say, I like everything except pop and country, but what I really mean is 95% of my music is rock and metal with the other 5% being jazz, classical, hip-hop, electronic, microtonal stuff and various world cultural sounds, but I say I like everything so people are more willing to share their tastes with me and not assume that I'm just some douchey metal elitist. Spotify is the worst thing to ever happen to the music industry. People already stopped buying CDs long before Spotify came in though. The only reason why we don't illegally download songs anymore is that Spotify is more convenient. Music piracy made music better. Money as a motivation to make music was basically removed from the equation. Nowadays, the people who make music do so mostly because they're artists. Loads of musicians these days are compelled to create to express themselves, because making music is in their soul, not to pander to an audience and make cash. Obviously this doesn't apply to mainstream music. Luckily for all of us with Spotify, it's now super easy to ignore trashy mainstream nonsense, dig deep and find some real gems. Old rock and metal like Kiss, GNR, AC/DC, etc. sucks ass. Metallica is good though, sometimes. AC/DC is epic. The Beatles don't deserve anywhere near the amount of respect they get. Most of their music is flat, nonsensical garbage. Greater Than the Beatles don't deserve anywhere near the amount of respect they get. Most of their music is flat, nonsensical garbage. I think it's fair to say if you don't enjoy them, but from a purely historical perspective, it's actually kind of difficult to overstate how influential and innovative the Beatles actually were. I like classical music. I don't think anyone dislikes classical music. Everything is just sex and being sexy. In all fairness, people have been saying that since Madonna. Billy Corgan sounds like Cartman. The Beatles didn't make any particularly good music. I enjoy some of their psychedelic phase, but most of their output is boring garbage. And I don't really give a shit if they had innovative production techniques. Nah, they're pretty impressive. Billie Eilish is overrated. She's counterculture neatly packaged and presented by the music industry. Just like Pink during the Britney x Tina days, or Avril Lavigne after her, Billie is just alt-pop for this generation of kids. Taylor Swift is overrated. Please don't hit me. I love Taylor Swift and I will not hit you. We shall live in harmony, my friend. I never got the hype for Stairway to Heaven being some all-time great song. It's a good song, but that's about as far as I'd go with it. It gave DJs time to pee. Radiohead is terrible. Stevie Wonder is 20 times better than Bob Dylan. Stevie Wonder greater than everything. We Built This City is an enjoyable song. Pop and rap music fucking sucks ass. The thing I don't like about a lot of rap is the constant bragging. Yeah, you've got badass cars, drugs, money and women. We get it. Top 40 pop is perfectly valid. There are bad top 40 pop songs and there are good top 40 pop songs. Same as every other genre or musical classification. You don't need to be an amazing singer to be a worthwhile, talented artist. Taylor Swift can carry a tune, but she isn't incredible, yet she really puts on a show and is a great songwriter. I don't really care if an artist autotunes or edits the sound of their voice, especially if it works with the song. Can't sing or play instruments but you've got GarageBand and autotune down? Cool. You can still make good music in my eyes. I don't get why people hate autotune so much. It's just a way of producing the song so it sounds more pleasing to your ears. No good music has been made by anyone since 1995, with the possible exception of Weird Al Yankovic. You heard Greta Van Fleet, bro? The Weeknd has some bangers. MGMT, Gorillaz, Childish Gambino, and the list goes on. There's still tons of great music out there, it's just not as easy to find. Fuck bitches get money, rap is probably the worst thing we can ever call art. I much prefer the I'm 6 years clean and rapping to help raise my family kind of rap. Jazz is shit. It's a group of alleged musicians playing different tunes at the same time. Jazz aficionados that try and claim there's some sort of genius to making a god-awful racket talk more shite than wine experts. Jazz is the shit. You just need to have enough experience with the right type of music to find it interesting is all. I used to hold the same opinion, that the discordant sounds in jazz didn't sound good. Then I joined my middle school band and got overexposed to classical music and all its encompassing music theory and rules. All of that started to sound boring. But then jazz comes in and starts playing and twisting those rules. Jazz really is what they call a musician's music. It's really enjoyable to those with knowledge and experience in classical Western music and theory. It's like abstract art. The common people might think it's all hogwash, but the experienced are intrigued by the artist's decisions, techniques, etc. One Direction is a better boy band than the Beatles. Beatles only got popular because it was the first time in history when women were allowed to be horny. Metallica have been shit since and Justice for All and have got progressively worse since then. Is this an unpopular opinion? Feel like it's more unpopular to say that Load and Reload were legitimately good albums, which is an opinion I have that seems to piss off a lot of people. The Beatles were not that good.
Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.